Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are jumping in to game number 2. This is a live bracket playing out sort of tournament dealio, so we're kind of jumping from series to series a little bit. Did not get to see what happened in the first map, but here in the bottom left, we have the red Terran player. He is Byun, facing off against the blue Protoss player in the northeast, Classic. Here on Ancient Cistern, a map known for its beautiful spanning vistas, having more bases than any map has any right to have. And, of course, being green. Just beautiful. Lush fields, rivers, fields, streams, fields, all that good stuff. Byun played a very aggressive series in his previous matchup against Stats. We just saw Byun demolish Stats. He did a straight up 3 racks combat shield stim rush, 1 gas strategy, pretty wild. Never even got to medevacs, never even built a starport. And then in game 2, he did a 2 racks Reaper opening, actually on this map. He did 1 barracks here and 1 here. He did a defensive 2 racks Reaper into an expand and then a 2-1-1. So Byun has definitely been bringing out a decent range. I don't know what to expect out of Classic, but maybe he's going to try and get aggressive. I think one of the toughest things right now in PvT is you've got all those tier 3 options, right? On the Protoss side of things kind of got nerfed a little bit. So we see a lot of Protoss players trend into that gateway heavy style, but against a guy like Byun, doesn't really work. You don't really go into like a brawling type of setup and just say, oh yeah, let's get scrappy with a few units and see what happens, because that's where Byun is going to make you suffer. And I'm already kind of curious as he's going into Reactor Reaper with his factory completing and then taking the natural. So he just now starts the natural command center. And you typically don't see Terran players go for late Reapers. Like, I could see 1, but he's going to go up to 4 with a Hellion. So he's playing for map control. If he was getting hit with Proxy Stargate, some kind of Oracle air-based strat, I think that this style could be very susceptible to exploitation. But since it's a Twilight Council, he'll have the opportunity to try and run past the mineral line into the probe line. Sorry, run past the wall. He does have an adept going out to scout though, so just going to try and get eyes on what's happening over here. Hellion coming in on the backside once again, continuing to reinforce, and now finally transitioning into mines and marines. So what I would expect in this scenario, bunker at the front of the natural, try to get that transition into bio, maybe do the mine drop and then start up 2 racks. But you can just send this in piecemeal, just move in, go for the workers before the drop can hit. Sometimes you can wait for both, but nothing to stop them from just running straight into the main base. This is a potentially game-ending amount of damage to be able to do. All the probes stacking up, a lot of probes at risk, but somehow only 3 of them actually killed. Every single probe just lined up in the main base, and there were 2 Hellions, and it's kind of a miracle that Classic is actually still up 36 to 27 workers, very nicely held. I thought he was going to lose a lot more. Several of those probes, battle scars for sure. There's the medevac taking 2 mines across the field, and then we see Tech Labs. Gonna guess 2 racks next to these, maybe. This could still work though. The Reapers are here, so do a mine drop in the natural. Reaper's back in the main. Classic, he's finishing Blink, but he's going straight into a Prism. This gas feels deceptive, but I suppose he's not necessarily intending to win the game off of this. He just wants to bring some serious pressure with the Stalkers. He's going to take out one of those Reapers, but that actually kind of baits him over, so Widowmine burrows in the natural. Byun trying to do a little unburrow, reburrow micro with that bad boy. 2 probes instead of 1, I think. Hey, that's better than nothing. The Reapers actually come in here too. 3 probes killed in total. Medevac's going to bring that mine back out. Did not fire. And suddenly we're at 36 probes to 35 SCVs. This is where it becomes a nightmare. Classic has to deal some damage on the other side of the map, and there's still a Widow Mine in a medevac behind his base. But a Terran player on even economy against Protoss, especially with Bio as it is in this meta, is going to be tough to deal with. So there's that mine drop back into the main, and look, he's like, oh, you only got one Stalker. You can't kill this fast enough. I'm just going to do jumping jacks. And well, eventually he has to turn back, but this right here is going to be the defining moment of the game. Classic coming in now, huge Stalker ball, has the prism right into the center of two siege tanks, crossfire, but actually not really losing too many of the Stalkers, taking some hits, but the majority of them are still up. So Byun now having to defend a huge amount of space inside of his main. This right here is why I veto this map, because there's so much room for Stalkers to run around. This whole bottom right area is a very, very susceptible point of attack, and we were talking about it. This is where you see the Protoss players go. That tier 3 not quite as reliable, and it's a very strong build, but if you don't kill Byun, that economy is still a big issue. Auto turret from the Raven coming in gets a couple of probes on the back side. These Stalkers, multi-prong Stalker attack, adding a couple of Zealots into the natural on top of this. And of course, those Zealots, if they get close enough, they're going to draw that friendly fire splash damage from the tanks. Meanwhile, these guys coming up towards that medevac. And here's the thing. Tech Lab researching Stim. Do you YOLO it? Probably not. Oh, he YOLOs the natural. Poor focus fire, though. Some of them shoot the bunker. Some shoot the... Yeah, I think Classic's dead here, boys. That's... I don't know that that's too much of a bit to toss out. If all these tanks are still alive, he's still got a couple of them. As soon as the Stalker pressure is over, as soon as he can't threaten, you're going to see Byun move across the map in a terrifying way. But Classic is burning through some of the opportunities here. I think Byun needs to just bring this starport on the inside. If he had blinked on this Tech Lab with Stim, I like that a little bit more. But having that fire spread out was a bit rough. And leave it to me to call the game early. But yeah, this is not looking good so far with what I think he needs to be accomplishing. Byun quite ahead in workers, now getting auto turrets in the mineral line again. Stalkers are going to come through. Zealots are caught behind the Stalkers, so Stim being done means the Bio is just going to rush forward and smack this back. Very nice defense from Byun. Like I was saying, it's a situation that just kind of gets harder and harder for the Protoss if you don't get that economic leverage, because as long as he can contain Byun, he can try to get this third setup. But Byun's third base, once he floats that bad boy over, we talked about it, he's got the SCV count ready to go. So that transfer will be hitting, and the Stalker harass with the Prism is really everything that he's got. Love seeing the delay here if he can get the SCV. And he did delay the medevacs quite a bit. So I gotta take it back. Classic is actually managing to transition into Storm fairly efficiently. So if Byun tries to move across with just a bunch of weak bio units, let's keep in mind these units are so low right now that when these medevacs come out, they're going to dump all their energy into healing them, which means if he gets into a fight in the next minute, he's actually not going to have much energy to heal his bio units. And he will be playing against Charge Lot Storm. So Byun getting his Ghost Academy. I mean, he's crossing his T's. He's dotting his lowercase J's. He knows what's going on over here. He's got it figured out. Third base is landing. Now for Classic, we haven't really been looking at his base much because he's been on the other side of the map. He's been pushing, prodding, attacking, but he has the robotics facility. We know that from the Prism. We know about the Templar. We know about the Storm. Not really seeing much else. And what I find interesting here is that there's no forge, no upgrades. That's what I thought. I thought that was going to be what turned this into an all-in play when he originally tried to blink into the main base. But a lot of that really, I mean, I was just like, okay, he's not getting upgrades, so clearly there's not a plan to fall back on. But Storm doesn't really need upgrades, so I get it. He's getting ready to move out again. Plenty of High Templar, plenty of energy available. And Byun he's still kind of moving forward pretty slowly. One Marine to spot does get killed, so he scans, he sees the Templar, and everything becomes about the splits now. Ghosts are on the way. I think the first one is about to finish now. So this Ghost right here has the opportunity to be a hero, but probably important to point out that with Storms inside the Prisms, and of course the ability to spread out on the part of Classic, it may not be guaranteed that EMP that he's looking for. Does drop one in the middle of the map. Oh, actually, that was pretty nasty, guys. Ate a lot. He ate a lot. EMP's the other High Templar, though, so the last storm comes out. And the bio army is very low, but in a direct head-to-head engagement with this many Marines and Marauders, Classic would lose. So, got to continue to buy time, retreats, warps in more Zealots, and you'll love to see the Archon. The bio units have not been completely healed, so Classic feels like, okay, he has to fight, try to push this choke point, but Byun is just rolling ahead and eating a tremendous amount of storms. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm feeling physical pain watching that. Physical pain. Once the Zealots are dead, though, I mean, Marines and Marauders, no matter how low they are, they can kill a virtually infinite amount of Stalkers. Marauders are tremendous against Stalkers. So Classic recognizing, okay, well, I've managed to get some money to make another transition, so we already have access to Storm. I can't completely rely on that anymore since EMP is out, so let's force them to build Vikings. We'll go double Colossus production and take the 4th base. And I have to say, I like Byun's position. I do feel he's still ahead. He's played a great macro game, but this is an opportunity that's been afforded to Classic because Byun really just ate a couple bad storms. So very well played on the part of Classic to keep himself in it. But Byun's next attack is going to be, that's going to be a very, very important one because he's going to split off a mine drop on the right side. And that big army is going to move in towards the 3rd. Right as these Colossus finish, but the range upgrade is not yet done for them, so it's a very, very precarious siege position. Widowmines are going to burrow, manages to get somewhere in the realm of about 8 probes. Not too bad. It's not a DT. Something gets killed there trying to run over into his 3rd base, but he also has an armory, so the Widowmines no longer reveal themselves when they fire. He needs to get an observer back. He is building one. I think that one is going to head right on over. Mines have about 8 seconds left before they can shoot again. And the cannon is here too. Right, obviously the cannon is going to give detection. I knew that. Totally didn't forget that. How could I? Scans, gets the observer at long last. The one that's been spotting him this whole time. But the Protoss is on 4 bases. I think Byun still has more workers. He has his 4th base now too. He's going into his +2 upgrades. But he does want to be careful. He's trying to build the technical army that can defeat this very advanced Protoss. Colossi don't really do too much damage to Marauders, though. So it really is all about balancing out that army comp. For the Terran, you want to get those big spreads, land the EMPs, have the Marauders take the Colossus hits, keep the Marines from clumping up too much. You can definitely get it done. I just realized the game sound was off this whole time. Smooth. All right. Yeah, I'm a god. I'm a god. Absolute professional here, guys. Do they not? Does he know? Okay, I think he's catching an inkling. I think he's catching an inkling here. Okay, so he's gonna get the prism, but those are some fat storms. Byun's army is kind of getting microwaved by the side storms, but he still has a ton of Marauders. The Vikings have been allowed to pick away at the Colossus. You're enjoying your ASMR? Yeah, of course nobody in chat said anything. Everyone's like, whoa, just get Nathan's voice isolated. And somehow he's gonna win the fight anyway. This is kind of what I was saying. Look, guys, we all know it. All right, you know it, I know it, they know it, we all know it. Byun is a fantastic player. Bio in a map pool with a lot of big open spaces. He gets some great spreads. I mean, I felt like he handled the storm pretty poorly. His whole army got stormed. All the Marines are dead, but it just doesn't matter because he's got a crazy amount of medevacs that kept the Marauders alive. And Colossi and Stalkers, they just suck versus Marauders. So very, very, very well done there. However, yeah, he's training the Nathanias AI. Except unlike other people, you know, you just use it to say random good things no one would expect, you know. I love getting proxy reapered. Byun moving up on that 3rd base once more. Shield battery overcharge is engaged. But like, in spite of all these trades, neither one of these players has really had a base truly threatened. I love that Byun's putting mines everywhere. But like the base hasn't been getting sniped. He hasn't been able to dive on the Nexus. And at the same time, Classic moved out and they've mostly just been trading their armies against one another. Byun still has all of his economy. He has not really been touched. So his max out is something that I think is going to continue to be an issue for Classic. Now that Liberators come into the game, +2 range, these are all things we want to see. He's not getting that +2 attack for them, but he is getting advanced ballistics. And that is what makes the Liberators just so powerful. They have a very oppressive amount of range with that upgrade. So he's going to use this to cover the position that he wants to move into. Tries to snipe the Templar, but these Liberators just want to zone Classic out of his own base. Even gets a fat EMP on that army. So, oh, that's very sad. I was hoping he was warping in Zealots for a flank. But he's just going to inch forward and force the fight into the Liberators, which just rip apart this Protoss army. And now the Colossi still in the back end. They're eating all these Viking shots because the Stalkers had to dive onto the Liberators. And now the Marauders have once again been the odd man out. So at the end of it, though, the Zealot reinforcements, this defensive position for Classic, he does hold on through sheer numbers, but the supply still favors Byun. Because, yeah, he held, but he pretty much had to send everything. And we were just talking about it, but the economy for the first time in the game becomes a big factor in one of the attacks, because it's mostly just been fighting in the middle of the field and not a whole lot else. He's got a probe here too with the gas going with his army. He's just gonna try and send it into Byun, it looks like.
Definitely gonna send it. And he's gonna use those lasers, those space lasers, and they're gonna definitely ooh.
Oh, he's under all the Liberators, so he's trying to juggle to dodge the shots, but
GG Byun.
Byun takes the series 2-0.